I'm on it, baby. No more bitch.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Morena in Japan. My name is Brianna. For those who don't already know, I started this channel in February and you guys still don't know my name. So there it is, Brianna, not Brianna, it's Brianna. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about my ethnicity and things like that because people keep asking me what I am and it's getting really annoying. Basically I want to talk about my upbringing and how this has affected my life in Japan, because I'm not just a black woman in Japan, I'm a black Mexican in Japan. So this is how we're gonna do it. Okay, so I am a black Mexican. I was raised in a Mexican household and was not exposed to any sort of African American traditions or black traditions in my own household growing up. I was raised pure Mexican. My mother is Mexican and my grandmother was Mexican. They both raised me and to who I am today. When you're a black Mexican girl growing up in this sort of household, you are not being treated the same as the boys. The boys can do absolutely whatever they want and get away with it. They don't have to go to go to college or anything. As long as they get a job, they are good to go and no one really cares and they're praised for literally anything. And for me, I stopped high school in 9th grade, like traditional high school, and began my homeschooling process in 10th grade to take care of things at home and my grandmother, who was progressively getting sick at the time. So that is what I needed to do as one of the girls in the household growing up. And now I am becoming a very established woman and I'm still not necessarily seen as enough in this sort of Mexican household. I'm not getting praised the same as someone like a guy who graduated high school and gets a construction job straight afterwards, and it's not fair. That's the tea. It's just extremely frustrating. Being a black Mexican woman, you're not even being seen as Mexican. I've never had a problem being identified as a black woman in the black community. I've never had a problem in the black community ever being accepted, but in the Mexican community, they adore whiteness and they adore Spanish features to the max. My skin growing up was always one of the main things that people see, because when people see me, they see black. And black always has a negative connotation of being bad or wrong. So in my household, there was always the encouragement of, you need to stay inside so you don't get darker. You need to put on this whitening cream so you don't get darker. Those sort of things. Or like, you need to straighten your hair so you can be more beautiful. Your hair is a mess. And I know my grandma, if I wake up in the morning and if my hair wasn't done when I woke up in the morning, she literally gets so angry, and I don't know why, because this is just my hair. This is just how my hair looks. And even if it was like this, she would prefer to have it pulled back. And growing up, I didn't indulge in any black girl hairstyles because my mom just simply didn't know how to do them. So she always had my hair sleek back because she didn't want to have my hair down at all. And I know that they really didn't have the worst intentions, but it was just the anti-blackness was just ingrained so deeply into their brains that I didn't get to grow up as a little black girl. I had to be their perfect Mexican girl, and it's very frustrating. And the colorism in the Mexican community is truly unmatched. Seriously, it's kind of disgusting how me and my other brother kind of had to grow up as the outsiders of our extended family, while my other brother was immediately accepted, and because he didn't look like us. So with us, we have our curly hair, we have our skin that's slightly darker. It's not even that dark, but we're just not generally accepted into Mexican communities. We're seen as you're also one of us. Oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean? And it's very frustrating. my grandmother came from Mexico when she was probably in her 40s, and she brought along my mother. So they became American citizens later in life. And now, when my grandmother was still alive, she'd always remind us that we were very lucky to be Americans and that we were very lucky to have opportunities such as this. But it was never enough for her. For my siblings, they didn't really have to do anything, but for me, I always had to strive and do the extra mile. I always had to do more. And this is very traumatizing as a child, where you're constantly told that you're not doing enough and you're not being the best that you can be, and you hardly ever get praised. And when you do get praised, it's like just a huge weight off your shoulder, because it doesn't happen often. And when it finally does happen, you just feel like you finally did something good. So now you guys can kind of understand why I had to go to Japan, just to prove myself that I can do everything that I've ever wanted to do. I could do whatever I want to do and be that girl. I could be extraordinary and whatever I want to be. But because I'm a woman, it's never gonna be enough, and I can't be myself. When I was raised in a Catholic, extremely Catholic household where you could not miss church, and being sexual was wrong, I was not allowed to be sexual. Even as like a teenager where you're 15, 16 and finally discovering what being a sexual being actually is, I wasn't allowed to indulge in that. I wasn't allowed to dress like this. I wasn't allowed to go out, and I wasn't allowed to have guy friends, even though my best friend is a guy. I sometimes wasn't allowed to go over to his house because there's men in the house, and who knows what can happen, you know? Like no sabes, like, you know what I mean? Like, they always have that mentality, like, that something, we have to treat Mexican women like we're both fragile and both strong at the same time. Like, we can handle everything, but we can also handle nothing. And that's the sort of mentality that has damaged the Mexican community to the max, where they glorify the men, and the men can do whatever they want. They could stay they could stay home until they're 35 and do nothing, but the women have to get out and change the world in some sort of way, and if we don't, then it's not enough. And that's extremely traumatizing as a kid, where you feel like you're never going to be able to do enough, and you're like, and then never being able to do enough, and also never being able to be completely accepted into a community that you're trying to fit into is extremely annoying. I've never had this problem in the Black community. While the Black community does have a lot of faults in it, just not being raised in it has affected me in a way where I wish that things were different, but they're not. And these sorts of traumatizing and like problematic ideologies that have been implemented into me at such a young age has been carried on to now, where I have to unlearn every single horrible thing that I've ever been taught and shape myself into a way that I want to be. I'm becoming the person that I truly want to be, because now I'm 19 years old and I have to take accountability for my actions, and I'm an adult where I have to basically re-raise myself. And while I still have to hold on to certain things that were taught to me, I still have to unlearn the things that weren't okay and the things that made me hate myself as a teenager, where now I absolutely love myself. I love everything about me. But these things have carried on inside of my brain, where it has become a chemical imbalance at this point. So I really have to focus on becoming the best person that I possibly can and be the best person that I want to be, rather than trying to prove myself to a community that doesn't even want to accept me. I think the most frustrating aspect might be that your extended family members might be darker than you, or even as dark as you, and they talk to you in such a condescending way. You're like, puedes hablar en español, ay, qué bonita, like, bitch, what the fuck, like, bitch, Maria, like, we're the same fucking color, like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's so stupid. Like, you guys are on some next level dumb shit. Oh my god. And I'm so glad that I'm now in Japan, where I don't have to deal with this sort of ignorance. But then when I do meet other Mexicans and I tell them, oh yeah, I'm Mexican too, they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, what are you gonna tell me? Like, how are you gonna tell me like what I'm not? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then in Japan, Japanese people don't really understand the concept of being two things at the same time. So they're like, what do you mean? Like, you're not a Negro? Like, what do you mean? You're not black? And it's like self-destruction in their brains when they find out that I'm both black and Mexican at the same time. And having to explain it like over and over again is extremely exhausting. I'm probably just gonna send them the link to this video when I'm done with it, because I'm tired of having to explain myself and my own being to people that don't even try to understand it. So yeah, and being in Japan now and being able to express myself is so much better now. Like, as an adult, I think I could finally be who I want to be, and that's good. Like, I never thought I'd be a sexually liberated girl in Japan with tattoos, and like even being able to express my own sexuality is insane. Like, I'm really out here, y'all. I'm really doing everything that I want to do, and that's crazy and that's fun. So yeah, I'm really proud of who I am. I love being who I am, and I love being black, and I semi-like being Mexican, but that community needs some work, and that's the tea. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this very lengthy video of me just ranting about who I am. So make sure to like and comment and subscribe, and you know, buy stuff off of my Etsy, buy some merch, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, I'll see you guys whenever I decide to make a video again, because I'm never gonna promise you guys videos ever. Okay, bye.